Mr. Kwame Stropp was no ordinary man. From selling cocoa in Kumasi to building a global empire, he rose to become one of the wealthiest men in Africa. His company, Stropp Holdings, was worth billions: oil, construction, tech, logistics, you name it. But as age weighed on him, he summoned his grandson. Kojo, this empire will rest on your shoulders. But remember, wealth without humility is a curse. Kojo, sharp-minded and humble, was named the new CEO of Stropp Holdings at just 29 years old. They say in Ghana, the one you despise today may be the one who saves you tomorrow. This is the story of Kojo Stropp, heir to a fortune, yet disguised as a pauper in the name of love. Mr. Kwame Stropp was no ordinary man. From selling cocoa in Kumasi to building a global empire, he rose to become one of the wealthiest men in Africa. His company, Stropp Holdings, was worth billions: oil, construction, tech, logistics, you name it. But as age weighed on him, he summoned his grandson. Kojo, this empire will rest on your shoulders. But remember, wealth without humility is a curse. Kojo, sharp-minded and humble, was named the new CEO of Stropp Holdings at just 29 years old. Kojo wanted love, but not the kind bought with riches. In the heart of Accra lived Akosua, a graceful young woman from another wealthy family. But her family's fortune was tied to contracts from Stropp Holdings, unknowingly, Kojo's own empire. He feared she might only love his title, so he devised a plan. He became a newspaper delivery boy, riding a squeaky bicycle, his rich suits replaced with torn shirts and dusty sandals. Every morning, he tossed newspapers at Akosua's gate, stealing glances at her. One day she caught him staring. She smiled. That smile changed everything. Day after day, Kojo delivered newspapers. Day after day, Akosua grew fond of him. They spoke at the gate, laughed under the mango tree, shared roasted corn by the roadside. "Why do you waste time with that poor boy?" her grandmother hissed. "He is kind to me, Nana, and he makes me laugh," Akosua replied softly. But love was growing where no one expected. Akosua's family was furious. At dinner parties, they mocked him openly. "A poor delivery boy? This is who you bring to dine with us. Look at his shoes, torn, like a beggar. If you want to be with our Akosua, you better find wealth first." At charity events, they forced him to donate. When he contributed modest amounts, they sneered. "He will work overtime for 5 years to pay this." Even her cousins whispered insults. They despised him, laughed at him, ridiculed him. Kojo swallowed the insults like bitter medicine. Each night, he returned to the company's skyscraper headquarters, signed million-dollar deals, and walked past staff who saluted him as CEO. The same man who was mocked for donating a few sadies was the one who signed contracts worth billions. Akosua stood by him, but pressure from her family was relentless. "Leave him. He will drag you into poverty. Do you want your children to suffer? What kind of man cannot even provide a house?" Kojo insisted on living in her modest home to maintain the disguise. He bought her expensive jewelry sometimes. "Where did you get the money?" she asked. "I saved for it," he'd reply, hiding the truth. But whispers chipped away at Akosua's faith. Some days she defended him fiercely. Other days, doubt clouded her heart. One night, at a grand charity gala, the insults reached their peak. Kojo made a small donation, but Akosua's uncle thundered. A CEO donated 10 million. Ministers donated 5. And you, newspaper boy, what will you give? 10 Sadies? Or maybe your bicycle? The hall erupted in laughter. Kojo's face burned with shame. Akosua's eyes filled with tears. That night, she told him, Kojo, I love you, but I cannot bear this anymore. Maybe they are right. Her words cut him deeper than any insult. The breaking point came when her family tried to arrange her marriage with a wealthy businessman. Kojo arrived at their mansion one evening, not in torn clothes, but in a tailored suit. Behind him, a fleet of black SUVs. The same uncles who mocked him gaped as men in suits addressed him as, Good evening, Mr. Stropp, sir. Gasps filled the hall. Akosua's grandmother nearly fainted. The cousins who mocked him dropped their jaws. Kojo stood tall. You called me poor. You spat at me. You mocked me. But I am Kojo Stropp, CEO of Stropp Holdings, the very company that feeds this family. While you despised me as a pauper, I was the one signing the contracts that kept your wealth alive. The room fell silent. Akosua wept, torn between anger and relief. Why didn't you tell me? Because I needed to know, Akosua. Would you love me if I had nothing? Or only if I had everything? She embraced him, whispering, I loved you when you had nothing. Her family bowed their heads in shame. The grandmother, once harsh, whispered, Forgive us, my son. We judged with eyes, not with hearts. Kojo and Akosua married in a grand ceremony, not because of wealth, but because of love proven in hardship. Mr. Stropp, old but smiling, blessed them. Now I know this empire is safe, not in the hands of riches alone, but in the heart of a man who knows humility. The story of Kojo spread across Ghana, the CEO who disguised himself to test love. In Africa, the elders say, if you want to know who truly loves you, strip yourself of riches. The eyes of love see the soul, not the pocket.